Okay, good evening or good afternoon, everyone. I guess we will get started with the work session. It's good to see everybody here, nice and warm and safe. Why don't we start with Bill 7317, Major J. Landsman.
Good morning.
How are you?
Okay. Good to see you there, Jay.
Yeah. Morning. Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
This is exactly what you want to hear about, right? NIBRS. So the Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Statistics, has provided a $970,880 grant to convert our current summary reporting system of UCR crime data to NIBRS, the National Incident-Based Reporting System. So NIBRS has been around since 1982. Crime data is being reported in 32 states using this particular system. The benefits of NIBRS versus a summary reporting system is that NIBRS is more detailed. You're going to capture more information about victims and suspects. And when multiple crimes occur in one incident, those crimes are going to be separated out, where under summary reporting system, you would have a hierarchy. The most serious offense would be what gets reported. So you may lose an auto theft, say, that occurred in a burglary. So with all those states already reporting data this way, basically FBI Director Comey in February of 16 mandated that by 2021 all police departments are supposed to be converted over to NIBRS. And to push this initiative, 75 large police departments were awarded this grant so that we could get a representative sample of data to actually see how NIBRS would affect how it would gather more data, give the public a better picture of what was going on in the communities, be able to give the police department a better picture of crime data and how to allocate resources, but also to give investigators better and more real-time information. So that is the summary of kind of what NIBRS can do for us. The grant, as how it is separated out, the $970,880, $396,880 would go to the project manager consultant fee to work with OIT and police personnel to convert from the summary reporting system to NIBRS, and then the vendor software cost would come to $574,000. So if you have any questions.
Mr. Chair?
Yes. Go right ahead, Councilwoman Malman.
The information that's gathered, will that include the area where the crimes were committed?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I was curious myself. I was just looking at it, and I was thinking about the National Incident Reporting System that we use in the fire department. And we have been using it for like, I don't know, it's like as long as I can remember being in the fire department, 30-some years. And I was just thinking, is this similar? Is this a new thing? Obviously, it's new for us, but like,
in terms of using it for crime statistics in Baltimore County and Maryland, it's new. I mean, that's why we're, as one of the large departments getting this grant. I mean, agencies in Maryland are using the summary reporting system in terms of, I don't know what kind of reports you capture fire-wise, but, and yeah, NIBRS, whether it's the same database or not, I'm not completely sure. Obviously, NIBRS has been around since 1982, so if it's some, derivative of that or not for the fire side, I'm not sure.
Okay. Any further questions? I think that's good. Captain Joe, do you want to add anything on this? No?
Captain Joe's.
Oh, he didn't come, okay.
One-man show today.
One-man show, all right, sorry for that. All right, thank you very much, Major. Next, we'll move on to apologize for that. Next, we move on to Bill 7417, Colonel Steve Havoc. Lavac. Lavac. Ignore the H. Lavac.
Yeah.
Colonel Stephen Lavac.
That's right. I hardly recognize you on a
Lavac.
Yes.
Lavac.
Council, how are you today? Happy New Year.
Great.
How's the name?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So I'm here today requesting a supplemental appropriation of the amount of $10,700 that's been made to the Police Department by the Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention. This amount is for FY18 for funding from the GOCCP for Internet Crimes Against Children, Sexual Exploitation on the Internet team. And it's being requested to assist in developing and implementing strategies specifically intended to investigate and prosecute internet crimes against children in the state of Maryland. For the year 2017, this particular unit investigated 522 new cases, resulting in 112 search warrants, 52 arrests, and 65 case clearances, compared to 2016, where we had 431 new cases, 72 search warrants, and 41 arrests. The specific award is being requested for computerized equipment to help with the never-ending technology that we're seeing from year to year. 4 laptops, 4 Logitech wireless mouses, 4 Windows Office and Home student software, media stations for evidence, digital intelligent forensic workstations, which replace an old one, and then 3 Samsung portable external hard drives for storage. These cases have a tendency to be large when they come off the internet as far as data. That would be the request. Anybody have any questions?
Any questions? Yes, Councilwoman.
I do, Mr. Chair. Colonel, what is an internet crime against children? What would be the most sought-out crime? Is that prostitution? Is that pedophile, people showing, taking pictures of children? Like, what are those types of crimes?
Well, there's a couple of different types of crimes that they investigate. One is pornography, child pornography, where an offender will download a file from the computer, from the internet site or dark website, and then they transfer these files back and forth. There's sexting, which is another thing that's kind of prevalent more among teenagers. Same type of child pornography. And then there's these chat rooms that we have predators that like to go to and solicit sexual behavior from juveniles. They don't even know that the juveniles don't know who they're talking to.
Right.
So it's basically the same danger of the internet, not knowing who they're communicating with, and the technology has gotten to a point where it's every year the technology seems to be outpacing what we're trying to do. So with this additional equipment funding will allow us to kind of at least keep pace.
Is there any trafficking that's included in this? Is that something you look at separately?
Human trafficking is another crime that we investigate. It's not investigated specifically by this unit, but if we had a case that was developed from internet pornography, our vice section would take the lead on that investigation, or we would more than likely work them together.
Okay. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Any further questions? Yes, sir, Councilman Crandall.
Nice to see you, Colonel. Just out of curiosity, does the Baltimore County Police Department, with regard to internet crimes, do we work with the FBI at all?
Yeah,
There's
we are.
some collaboration there?
Yeah, we're part of a task force set up with the FBI. And in those types of cases, we will go out and look for, human trafficking solicitation and things of that nature. The problem with the internet crime is it's almost transnational. It's crossing jurisdictions. You could have a suspect that lives in a different state soliciting a child in this state, and then we get into a situation on where the crime actually occurred. So it's almost imperative that there's some type of federal involvement with these cases. And we enjoy a pretty good relationship. Matter of fact, just got the memorandum of understanding on it today. So, yeah, we will have some type of tie-in with them.
Okay, thanks, Colonel.
Yes, sir, Councilman Katz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How long ago did the county apply for this grant?
Hold on one second. I'm not sure with this grant. We have another grant through Maryland State, so there's two different grants. The initial grant through Maryland State this is an appropriation to that grant. It's a separate grant, so I don't know exactly when it was requested.
Okay, with the larger grant, so do you apply separately for these smaller amounts?
Yeah, this grant was, I think this was appropriated in the fall of 2017 was when the funds were requested from GOCCP. At times, they will offer us funding if they had additional funding. So yeah, it would be at a different time than the other one.
I guess I see these, what I call small amounts that come from the state or federal government periodically, and I just, on a totally another subject, just wonder how much time on the county's part or on the state's part, how much time and money is used to, in essence, transfer this money from one source to the other. I can remember there was one for $6,600 from the federal government that we had a couple months ago, and it's not that I have a problem with what we're doing with the money. I just get concerned about how much money we're spending to get these small amounts and how much the state is spending to transfer these small amounts. But I know you can't answer that question. But, well, maybe you can tell me, like, how much time is involved? You said this was applied for in the fall.
That's my estimate.
Okay, and this is was a separate thing that did come. So are these real time consuming to do?
I mean, I can't speak for the budget coordinator. I wouldn't think that they were overly time consuming. I guess when you look at what they're for, I'm not sure if you can put a time frame on it, with, especially these types of crimes. So I really wouldn't be able to answer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Am I answering your question?
Yeah, it's fine. I guess what I was wondering is it's a shame we have to wait until now to get this equipment that we need, and I just wonder, with all the money being spent back and forth, whether we could have bought the equipment in the fall.
Oh, I understand.
And instead of spending money or resources on these grants back and forth. But I don't expect you to answer that.
Yeah, I think sometimes
Yeah.
some of the equipment does not become antiquated immediately.
Right.
It's kind of a phase-in type thing.
Mhm.
And, obviously, we're going to use the equipment to the best that its ability is to be used to. And then what happens is we find that they're using something else. And what we have maybe doesn't fit that specific type of application and I'm not a computer expert, but, this dark web side, there are things going on in there that we just don't have equipment that complies or meets the needs of what we need to do to get in there, or it's slow. And these are kind of cases, they're obviously sensitive involving children. We
Yeah.
try to get it done as quick as possible. So if something
Right.
comes up on the market that does it faster, and we can obtain funding from it someplace, then of course, yeah, we're going to go and
Yeah.
try to get it. So, and these, these cases are not like any other cases.
Right, right. And my question, would have been, it's a shame we could have gotten it earlier, is all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Councilman Quirk?
Yeah, and I appreciate your work on it. It sounds like we've been, going after these guys pretty good in Baltimore County. Like you said, how many arrests last year? Like 50-some, or?
Just to give you an estimate over the last, I pulled the stats just for the last 3 years, and this is where the technology kind of comes in. In 2015, we had 487 new cases, and then it dipped down to 431, and last year it went up to 524. Search warrants went from 103 to 72, back up to 112. So does that show a pattern that the equipment is just not meeting the need anymore?
Is the county, they're always in partnership with the federal, government on this, you said, because of how these are usually, not just in the county there? Are we partnering each time with?
Not every case, no. Some of the cases will come from the National Child Exploitation Center, and they'll go to the Maryland State Police, and then they kind of farm them out to the jurisdictions that they're in.
And so Baltimore County has its own specialized unit that's all they're dedicated toward, is just going after these child pedophiles and things.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate your work.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any more questions? Thank you, Colonel.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day. Next, we'll talk about the Bill 7517. Chief Carol Price.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Here,
Same
On
to you.
behalf of the Fire Department, congratulations, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
The administration is requesting a supplemental appropriation of federal funds totaling $1,519,368 to the Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response, or the acronym is SAFER, Grant Gifts and Grants Funds Program. The funds will be used for the salaries and fringe benefits of 16 probationary firefighter positions for 3 years.
Sounds good. Sounds real good. I was, on a related note, I know that we shouldn't talk about other jurisdictions, but I was sort of surprised that maybe last year or so when another jurisdiction received the grant and turned it down. I was sort of taken back by it. But any questions? Yes, sir.
Just want to thank you for coming before the council. I think it means a lot that you stay in touch with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you for your support, each and every one of you.
Not we, another jurisdiction turned it down.
Yeah, not us.
Not us, not us, not
We're
us.
still pursuing.
It was part of me once upon a time, but not us anymore.
Julian Jones.
Now I know who you're
message.
talking about.
No, it was Anne Arundel Turner.
I got it.
That's different. I'm stunned too.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Thank you, Chief. Next, let's talk about bills. I have to stop for 1 minute. Fire department gets a grant for $1.5 million, and it's like 2 minutes. We spend 30 minutes talking about a $10,000 grant for the police department. I don't get it.
Can I get an amen?
All right, thank you.
Oh, boy.
Bill 7617, Kevin Reed. Make it a quarter, we'll be here all day.
Chairman Jones, council members, good afternoon. This is a $75,000 supplemental request appropriation. I'll be very quick here. This is for the Local Management Board through the Department of Health and Human Services, requesting a supplemental again for $75,000 from the Governor's Office for Children to establish a local care team coordinator. Each county has a local care team, and they consist of experts and from many child different serving agencies, including parent liaisons. The LCT meets regularly to review cases of youth who are in need of a therapeutic out-of-home placement, due to complex needs related to mental health and or developmental disabilities. This new position will provide coordination and support to the team to ensure that youth with intensive needs receive comprehensive support services in order to return or divert them from preventable out-of-home placements. And the goal, again, is that children remain in the least restrictive environment as close to their family unit as possible. And we expect to serve approximately 30 youth this fiscal year.
How many?
30.
30.
for the
Okay.
remainder of the fiscal year.
Any questions?
I just have one, if you don't mind.
Yes, Councilwoman Bennett.
What are the certifications for a local care team coordinator?
So local care team coordinator is someone with a background in human services administration. It could be a parent liaison. It could be, we're currently advertising for a job right now, but it would be graduate level work or many years of experience.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any further questions for Mr. Reed? Hearing none. Thank you very much, Mr. Reed. Next, we'll move on to Mr. Keith Dorsey. We'll talk about Popowski Brothers.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the County Council. This is a request for approval of a contract with Popowski Brothers, Inc., also doing business as PBI Renovations. This is a request for approval for work to be done at county buildings for emergency fire and water remediation, restoration work, also for sewer backups or any other kinds of damages in buildings of emergency nature where we have to bring in a crew to clean up the damage and restore the facilities back to its normal use. The contract is for 7.5 months initial term through August of 31st, 2018, and then 4 one-year renewals thereafter. The total cost for this work is not to exceed $1,282,095. This is a piggyback off of a state contract for similar services.
Okay, Mr. Dorsey, so it's for emergency services. So this is basically a contingency fund?
It's sort of, for instance, this past December, there was a major water leakage in the courts building, so we had to come in and have a repair. Just recently, we haven't gotten a bill for it. Because of the freezing weather, pipes have broken over there as well. So it's for when you have water damage, it could be smoke damage, it could be any of those kinds of things. So it's contingency in terms of we only use it if, in fact, you have those emergency activities.
Right, I was just curious, 1.28795. Why not 1.3? Why not 1.4? I mean, I'm just curious, where did this, like a lucky number, 1.287 come? I don't know.
What it would have been is one of the members of my staff would have taken a number in terms of an estimate and then multiplied it out and added increase for inflation, and it came up to an exact number, and they put in the exact number rather than rounding it up.
Yeah, they left out the cents.
Yeah.
Any questions for Mr. Dorsey? Okay, thank you, Mr. Dorsey.
Thank you.
Tell them the next time, put those pennies on there. They're going to be exact. Okay. Next, we'll hear from Mr. Tim Sheridan, Court Administrator.
Chairman Jones, members of the council, Happy
Hello.
New Year.
Same to you, same to you.
On behalf of the bench of the Circuit Court and with the administration's approval, I'm here to seek the council's approval of a contract amendment to pay our main foreclosure review specialist, Jeff Dobson, in excess of the $25,000 per year mark up to $55,000. The reasoning here, we have three. Jeff is our main foreclosure specialist, and we have two law clerks, law students at the University of Baltimore that come in and do some part-time work. We had another foreclosure specialist that took a job elsewhere, and this kind of put us in a bind because the foreclosures, while they've diminished a little, have not dropped off substantially. We're staying ahead of it currently, but we will need some additional help to stay ahead of it through the rest of this fiscal year.
Any questions? Okay, only question I had, so we're increasing the maximum compensation by $30,000 to one individual?
Right. And that individual is, he's an attorney with, I think, 8 or 9 years' experience. The other two are law students, and he essentially monitors their work, even though they're all contractors. So he's the talent, so to speak, and it has become, foreclosure is not, I guess we'd say, legal rocket science, but it's very detailed, and it's very, it goes between 3 or 4 different areas of the law, different code sections, and sort of this is all in a response to our foreclosure crisis of 2014. Back there, we had that, and the robo signing issues that were going on before that. So this is really the court's response to make sure that we process the cases accurately, and Mr. Dobson's very good at that.
Okay. He doing additional work?
Does he do additional work other than that?
No, I mean, from 25 to 55.
Oh,
He did it for 25?
It's the amount of time that he's here.
Okay.
That would be, if we had 2, we would try to balance that out.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yes, sir. Councilman Cramp.
Hi, Mr. Sheridan. Does Mr. Dobson have other clients, or is Baltimore
No,
County's?
this is it.
This is it.
He does. He does others. He's a very interesting guy. He's licensed in Virginia, D.C., Maryland, Massachusetts, and he's sitting for the Rhode Island bars. I don't know. I think he's just trying to carpet the East Coast. So the Rhode Island exam is so. My big fear is that he's just going to up and leave, which he will someday. He'll just up and leave, and hopefully our foreclosure filings are at a lower level, and we can figure out a different way to navigate that. But no, he doesn't. That's what he does.
Okay, and I'm assuming he's a contractor, so he's not part of the retirement system.
That is correct.
No health benefits, et cetera.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions? Thank you, Mr. Sheridan.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Ms. Amy Grassi. Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. The administration is requesting approval of a contract to acquire property totaling approximately .074 acres for $9,317 to be used for the construction of a new public sanitary sewer as part of the Academy Heights Relief Project. The property is owned by Abbey Square Apartments, LLC. It is located at 147 and 149 Nunnery Lane in Catonsville. It is an apartment complex. This is the last of the items for that project that will require council approval. There's one left, which is an elderly woman who is just waiting to see how things will turn out. We're in constant communications with her. She's a lovely lady. She's just taking her time. We're hoping that now that she's the last one, that she'll sign off and we can clear the project for construction.
Okay.
Thanks for your help. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, how about Mr. Steve Walsh? Resolution, page 22, Resolution 6-18.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, good afternoon.
Leave?
Resolution 6-18 would amend the Baltimore County Water Supply and Sewage Plan. That's cycle 35. And Dave, that's the 35th year in a row we've been doing this? 35? 36. Amendments to the plan are made annually in accordance with executive orders of April 11th, 1990, July 22nd, 2003, and August 28th, 2009. On July 20th, 2017, the Planning Board held an advertised public hearing on the two requested amendments to the plan and reported the results of the hearing to the county executive. The requests were reviewed by the Department of Environmental Protection and Sustainability and the Department of Public Works, Department of Planning, and the Planning Board, and both requests were approved. The Planning Board approval occurred on September 7th, 2017. County Executive reviewed the proposed amendments and submitted them to the Council for approval. This resolution would adopt the recommendation for the two requests. And those requests are, first one is 5425 Mount Gilead Road in the 3rd Councilmanic District. The project name is the Pearlstone Center, and that's formerly known as Camp Milldale. That's a multi-use facility, and they requested an increase in the discharge capacity for on-site well water supply and sewage disposal from 12,000 gallons per day to 28,500 gallons per day to support building improvements. That's the first one.
Okay.
The second project is 10022 Liberty Road in the 4th Councilmanic District, and that is the Reynoldstown Animal Hospital. This will allow connection to a public sewer previously extended by an adjacent land development project, and that is the church project next door. Water connection will be allowed through a private easement to be acquired by the petitioner, and the animal hospital is currently served by well and septic that are at risk of failure due to the small lot size and nature of the use.
Okay. Any questions? Go ahead.
Steve, I know you and your staff are very busy right now with water leaks. I want to thank you for all the help you're providing. Any estimate on the numbers of those? You gave me a number last night, I know, and number of situations we're dealing with.
Yeah, we're tracking it every day. The number was as high as 110 leaking water or broken mains in the city and county, of which the county had about 40 as of yesterday. The numbers seem to have gone down a little bit today to about 100 or so. Again, the number in the county is about 40. City put out a press release yesterday that 900 residences were without water due to frozen meters yesterday. So, yeah, it's a pretty bad situation. Certainly at the freeze, the beginning of the freeze, during the freeze, the numbers will go up. We think that as the fall happens, the numbers may go up again. I was talking to Rudy Chow just before this meeting to talk about how the county can potentially help the city in this effort because it's widespread. So there will be ongoing dialogue about that.
Thank you very much for what you're doing.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I would like to commend you. Not that I like waking up in the middle of the night to a text from Mr. Fiddler, but it's a great way for me to, as soon as possible, get that on my Facebook, for people that may be at work and now know they can't go home and take a shower, or not to park their car there because it'll be freezing, or to, pack up and go somewhere else. So I certainly appreciate those posts, and so do my constituents, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep, ditto.
I think we should really thank the workers who were out there in 20-degree
Oh, my
weather.
gosh,
And
I know,
with
right?
leaking water actually doing the work. So
Will
our
you
folks
thank them on our behalf?
Certainly
Thank you.
will. And the first responders who were out there in
Yep.
the cold weather.
And I thank you for my signs that were put up. I got a text today with a picture, so Marysville Road. Moving right along, any further questions? Moving right along with the sanitary sewer extension. Page 24, Resolution 7-18.
Resolution 7-18 approves an extension of the county sanitary sewer system in the Turkey Point Road area in Essex. This is in the 7th Councilmanic District. The extension will serve 4 improved properties on Tickwood Road. The construction cost is $207,233.12, of which the property owners will pay $158,048.59. The county is responsible for $49,184.53, of which $7,255.58 is 50% of the county's share of the deficit. It's noted in here as county assistance, but it's really 50% of the county's share of the remaining cost of the project.
These failing septics.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Walsh?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Brandon?
Mr. Walsh, thanks for your work on this. I'm going to assume that the 4 property owners have signed off.
There was a
On
public
this?
hearing held,
Okay.
and 2 of the property owners showed up. So that's, but as far as we know, everybody wants the project.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very quickly, is there a formula in place that determines what the county share is?
There are, yes, there's a formula in place. Now, the county share can vary widely depending on the unique circumstances of where the properties are and where existing infrastructure is and how far we need to go to get the infrastructure to the properties. So it can vary widely, the amount that the county puts into these projects.
So the further it is from the closest facility being further away is more cost to the county or less?
Yes, and also it depends on what the adjacent properties are. In this particular case, there's a park on one side of the street, so the county can't recoup costs from itself. So
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, Councilwoman.
And wouldn't this be a priority if they're waterfront communities with failing septics?
certainly, when you say priority, I mean any
We don't want raw
situation-
sewage going into our waterways, so we
That's
just...
true. Any failing septic is an issue to somebody, and ultimately that failing septic could get into a waterway someplace, but you're right. Right on the water.
Okay.
And one last thing, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Walsh, if you could check your phone as you leave. I got something for you.
And one quick question. On the failing septics, what is the process? What does a person have to show they have a failing septic?
Well, that particular part of the process, the environmental department takes the lead on. But certainly, if they can prove that sewage is at the surface of the ground, if they can prove that they're pumping it out very frequently, and the environmental department goes out and does an assessment to see whether there's available room on their existing lot for an extension or modification or amendment to their existing system, and there's a lot of back and forth between the environmental department and individual residents to see what their options are. If it gets bad enough, people will actually pay to have their septics pumped out very frequently. And certainly the intent and the hope is that ultimately public water and sewer can be extended to those locations. But they're difficult in a lot of cases because, like we talked about, the existing infrastructure is not very close, and the costs are high if you're trying to serve one property.
Okay, so we basically bring it to the property line. They are responsible to take it the rest of the way? Or do we take it straight to the house?
No, I mean, if we have public water and sewer here and people live down a long road and they have a failing septic down here, and if they're the only person with that problem, as we go through a process, the construction costs could be huge to run a line down there. If there's rock or something like that, so it may not be cost effective for a citizen to absorb those costs when there may not be any other options. So it's a difficult situation, difficult problem to solve in all cases.
Okay.
Makes it easier when there's a cluster of failing septics in an area, so they all can share in the costs.
Any additional questions? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Walsh.
Thank you.
Well, this concludes our work session for today. Thanks for coming out. Be safe. You know that Mr. Dorsey, you know.
I'm sorry.